Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Latina Mic Drop. So, obviously, I am not at my regular location. I am out and about. And believe it or not, Jamaica, Montego Bay. I am so excited to be out here. This is the first time that I come here. I am very new to traveling, very new to doing things outside of my comfort zone, very new to getting out of New Jersey. I am happy that I am here with you today. I could not skip taking the time to record another episode of Latina Mic Drop. So, welcome. One thing I noticed on this trip is how important it is for you to have the right partner in your life. So, my spouse and I will be together almost 20 years next year in September. So, this year we are together 19 years. And the reality of life is that when you don't have the right partner, things get really sketchy, scary, hard. And I'm not about that anymore, and I never have been. And I was really not even looking for somebody to be with. And I had given up on having a partnership or being with anybody because I had three kids that I needed to raise, and my main priority was going to be to raise them. But the one thing I did know was the fact that I didn't want to be alone. I saw my mom and how she navigated that space. And even until today, she had stayed true to my dad, even though he had done all the wrong things, all the unimaginables. And I just remember saying to myself as a young kid, like, that's not the life that I want to live. That's not how I want to live my life. That's not the kind of partner. But what happened was because I was so used to it, I ended up in a relationship exactly like my father. And I ended up being with somebody who wasn't for me. And unfortunately, at that time, right, I didn't know about contraceptives and I didn't know about the different ways that you can take care of yourself as a woman. And I had three babies. So I had my son at 19, I had just turned 19. My daughter a year and a half right after, and my third daughter right after that. So by 21, I already had three kids, and I was living life in survival mode, doing what I could. I wasn't sure how I was going to make it, but I had given up on having a relationship with another man and being with somebody that was not going to take care of me because I was not going to live the life like that, like my mom had lived. And it was important for me to be able to figure out what was that love or what was that relationship that I was looking for. There are ways you chose the right partner. The first one is they support you, right? So they can either support you or they can hinder you. How did I find my wife? We were working together. She was my friend. We went to new experiences. She was the only person that gave my daughter a birthday gift the year that I couldn't. From the very beginning, she saw what I was lacking and was able to help me, and vice versa, right? We have always had a partnership where we help each other out. Whatever it is that she needs, I give her, and vice versa to each other. Now, that didn't come easily because I was not out. People had no idea that I was a lesbian, gay, bi. I don't even know the label that I would use, but people had no idea. And so when I met her, I just remember thinking, this is not going to be easy. And this is going to be a difficult choice that I need to make. And number three, is this right for my children? Right? What are people going to say? How are people going to react? And it was hard. But the one thing I knew was the fact that if I had continued to do what I had been doing in the past, I would get more of what I already had, more BS, more nonsense, more of the persons that do not care for me, accepting garbage like nothing. And so with her, throughout all these years, we have been able to support each other and help each other out. So what does that look like? That looks like being independent. So she has her own life, I have my own life. Number two, not comparing each other, right? So that is very difficult in women these days, and we do not compete with each other. And so in the beginning, it was really tough for me because people were always comparing our beauty and what we look like, and didn't believe that we were a couple, and just all kinds of things that happened while we were very young. And we learned to navigate that piece, and we learned to understand each other as well. We really didn't care too much about what other people said. We just respected our families, and, kind of didn't hide, but at the same time, didn't see too much about it. Now, almost 20 years later, we are more open to it, and we are more clear with people and mention what we are and who we are and what we are together. But support looks different because in many different times throughout our relationship, imagine in our young 20s, like growing up together, literally, then through our 30s, and now in our 40s. And so it took us a long time to navigate to the space that we are today. But without the support of each other, for each other, with each other, we would not be able to live the life that we live today. We're on vacation. The support is super important because we want to be able to have each other's back. And there are times where you're going to be down and they may be up, and vice versa. Or sometimes we're both going through something and going through challenges, and that's where you help each other out. So being there for each other is super important. Number two, trust. So that is something that I will admit that I struggled with for a very, very long, long, long time because of my ex. And that was very difficult for me. I did not trust for a very long time, but I fought through that every single time. So I knew that I needed to get through it. And it wasn't until I took the time to take care of myself that I was able to do that. Then number three is we have fun. Like, who doesn't like to have a good time? So we love to do things together. We hang out together. We laugh together. There is just something about being able to share with each other that we really do enjoy. So if you're not having fun with the person that you're with, I mean, that might be a red flag. So let me tell you one thing with the flag thing. There were so many red flags from my previous relationships that I never paid any mind to. I was one of those people pleasing type of people. And that was something that I needed to unlearn to just accept what was coming. And that's the last thing. The last thing is you need to be able to accept each other fully, whole, as you come, with your baggage, with everything and anything. But at the same time, right, there's certain things that you're not going to accept. Like, you're not going to accept. We personally do not accept cheating. We do not accept all these bad other things, right? There's other stuff that we bring with us because of who we are, because of how we grew up, because of the traumas that we've experienced, because of so many different things that have happened. But we ultimately are good people. She's a good person, so am I. And we see each other in that way. And yes, we've made mistakes. Yes, we do. Not in a way that would be a deal breaker, though, right? So we have learned to help us through those shifts, those errors, those mistakes. We are human. And so we remember that with kindness, with love, with trust. And that's how we've gotten this far for this long. There were times where we didn't understand each other, where we were thinking it was our fault or something else. But in reality, we've recognized that sometimes a lot of things that happen are simply because we are still stuck in a story or still stuck in the past. And we have learned to move on and to move forward. These are the ways that that are important for you to pick the right partner for yourself. Because let me tell you, it is one of the best experiences you can have. At the same time, expect that this person will bring up your triggers sometimes, and you need to recognize those things and address them accordingly with yourself. I always start with me to check to see where I'm at and see what I'm contributing to the issue, like I've mentioned before, but contributing to the situation, what is my part in it? And then I figure those things out. I am excited and happy to have brought you this episode of Latina Mic Drop from Jamaica. So happy to be with you all. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I am getting ready to go to a wedding. So see you later. Hasta luego. Catch me on the flip side. Don't forget to check out the Chingona Times, because that's where I put all the strategies and tools from the episode. You can also find me on YouTube if you want to continue to watch, subscribe. If you like this, share, let other people know. And hit me up on IG. I'm at author miriamsimon.com. If you want me to come out and be a speaker, you can also check out my website at miriamsimon.online. Have a good one. We will be back next week for the next episode of Latina Mic Drop.